your opponents, you learn a lot, so you kind of know what's coming, and you think he knows. Yeah, Andre is playing Tenpai, so that's why he forced him to go first.
And here we see the Kaiman. It's not being activated in the battle phase, because obviously you cannot enter your battle phase when you go first. So instead, we'll just be adding a Tenpai Dragon or a Dragon Monster to the hand.
Good to see Dora.
Yes.
Yeah, it adds a level 4 lower Dragon Monster when you summon Fire Dragon.
That's an on-summon effect.
Yeah. Main one?
We're going to the main phase 1 here. Sangen summoning activated.
Andre started with 2 of the good ones, and now he gets to activate that Dora effect uninterrupted because it is a Fire Dragon Monster.
So many great, cool Mahjong references here. Again, Dora being that extra little bit of points for Mahjong and being able to reveal it from the top of the deck and some cool stuff. But Genroku is here. We're actually getting to see this in playing. So are we going to bring it as a tuner, and are we going to increase its level?
Level 4?
Level 4.
Now it is level 4.
Okay, level 4 tuner.
Effect, cost.
Special effect.
Correct.
So now he's going to go ahead and send it to the graveyard to summon from the deck.
Definitely gives you whatever
Hydra
piece you need.
Add or set.
And then Pydro will allow him to set potentially a Kaiman for the following turn that he could use or for the future battle phases. Yep,
Looks like we are going to get that Sangen Kaiman. It's true that we haven't seen Sangen Kaiho a lot. It certainly helps for situations like this where you do have to go first eventually as a Tenpai player. But at least the Tenpai duels we've seen here on the stage opting not to use it. But we are going to go ahead and Synchro Summon here. What do we got? Oh, actually, it's Erratic Seals Pass.
I'm playing Dragon Link. Set one.
Andre's like, hey, look, I'm doing the Dragon Link thing. Is that a set tidying right there? Could be.
Now that's a blast from the recent past.
Yeah, this is like the one bugaboo about playing Tenpai Dragon is sadly, when you go first, there's not many explosive things you can do. I mean, you still have a really powerful point of interaction. You have lots of resource gain. But if you don't have that Kaiho, you're not really going to stymie your opponent too much with the cards you draw.
No,
Cross-checking the effect of that Sangen summoning. Not necessarily relevant right now, but we're going to go ahead and Infinite Permanence, the Erratic Seals.
And very good question from Andre, clarifying what phase of play we are in when he activates this card. So now Seals is negated because of that Infinite Impermanence. Engraver being sent to the graveyard, attempting to search for Fiendsmith Tract, I believe. And Andre's like, you know what, that's fine. And this is where Andre specifically playing the Disruption version of Tenpai Dragon, where you have things like Ash Blossom and Joy Spring, the Beer of the Primal Being in your deck, means going first is not actually that bad because the cards you draw can still have value, even if they're not actual cards that can set you up. You know, Raigeki and Darkhole is not really great when you're going first.
It is true, drawing a Raigeki at the wrong time. Yeah, maybe you destroy your opponent's monsters, but if they don't have any, it just sits there as another card in your hand. Speaking of cards in the hand, though, we're adding the Fabled Lure from the deck to hand. Gonna probably discard that.
Yep, seems pretty good to me. Watch it just be like, I'd rather have it in my hand. He just put something else in the graveyard.
Hey, there could be some Galaxy Brain stuff from duelists who have gotten this far in the tournament.
You never know. And now here, the age-old question, do we go into the Fiendsmith combo, or do we try to maybe use this as an extra body for something else?
Seems like a Link 1.
Into the Requiem?
Fiendsmith's got a Requiem. Here it is.
Yep, summon's fine.
That set card probably is an impermanence of Andre's own, and he probably wants to wait for just the right time to go for it.
It's difficult to time that. It's really only one point of interaction here. Obviously, with the Seals effect negated, it's a little difficult to get through.
Depending on what Alex has else in hand, it could be enough.
Good touch, yeah.
Oh, we're going to find out.
Then that would be a pretty good time, because I believe that Tract would be able to get rid of one of Andre's cards if he so chooses. That's what makes going second really powerful for Fiendsmith, Snake Eye.
Oh, but it looks like we're going for the monster, actually.
I think Tract can only target monsters. Maybe it can target any card, but I'm not sure.
Training 2 stills. They cost.
There's the monster. Gonna just pay the cost there.
So this gets them.
It still gets sent, right?
Yeah, it's them. Mandatory trigger, training 1.
Because it was tributed, we are going to get to see the Erratic Seals effect here, so we do get to take a look for another dragon card.
Probably going to get that Chundra, because having access to that would be pretty powerful. We're actually going to summon Padra and then bring back the Pydra from our graveyard.
Effect target.
I suppose we could get Dora as well. Or Genroku.
Oh, interesting. Okay. So again, no linear gameplay here. I think that's what's been so fascinating about watching Tenpai duelists do what they do. They need to get to the battle phase, and obviously attack, attack, attack is good, but how you get there, that's really up to you. And so using the Fadra here to build up a little bit of a wall of defenses with the Genroku, neat stuff.
And then currently Genroku is not a tuner, but Fadra is a tuner.
That's correct, because Genroku would only become a tuner from its own effect.
And it was summoned off the effect of Fadra, who is protecting both of them from battle. There we see a normal summon Poplar. Not the most explosive way to head into this Snake Eye engine, but definitely good enough given this board texture.
Definitely a backdoor into some of your favorite Snake Eye cards. I think I might see a Ghost Mourner. No, that's an effect failure there in the hand, so considering activating it.
Check your grave.
Specifically a normal summon Popular kind of only, trying to stop the effect to add Sinful Spoils here would be really huge if Andre doesn't think Alex already has it in hand.
That's the question. Is he going to try to search for a temple, or is he going for original Sinful Spoil Snake Eye? But it seems like he doesn't trust him. We're going to effect failure now and not let the Poplar pop off.
So now the question is, what else does Alex have in his hand? I think we saw that he had some kind of hand disruption himself during Andre's turn, but obviously Sand Summoning turns that off during your main phase, and so he never really got a chance to use it. And here we're just going to see a link 2 into, I imagine, what could this one be? Sequence. Ah, yes, of course. Wants to activate his fusion plays.
Gotta get something going on. So Fiendsmith Sequence activates.
Did not activate the effect of Snake Eye's Poplar to spell and trap zone a card.
Maybe he has some additional Snake Eye card effects to use. So we are going to go ahead and take a look at the graveyard here. Getting the Fabled Lurie back in, and also looks like the Fiendsmith Requiem.
I thought I showed it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It was too high. Yeah.
I didn't show it. Just sometimes you blink and you miss it, right?
Yeah, my fault.
He did play it early in the turn, so it is definitely in there. Glad Andre asked for that clarification before we kept going.
Okay.
Targeting the top engraver, and we've got the
Bestial Magnemite, yeah.
Really nice interruption on that Lacrima effect. And the effect to add dragon cards is specifically poignant in the Tenpai Dragon deck.
Definitely sets up next turn where you might have that battle phase.
Does Fadra only protect Fire Dragons, or does it protect Magnemite as well? I don't think so. I'm pretty sure it's just Fire Dragons, because they all require Fire Dragons.
Well, it is the great new Fire Dragon theme, but it is only going to protect those Fire Dragon monsters. So unfortunately, this Bestial changes with a scroll of attributes of something kind, changing the attribute is something that happens in Yu-Gi-Oh! From time to time, but I don't know if it would be worth it just to protect Bestial Magnemite.
There's definitely a DNA surgery for attributes. There's no way there's
yeah, and then there's Scroll of Bewitchment.
Oh, there you go.
Single equip spell, maybe get a Fiendsmith Requiem going on. Or, excuse me, Necrocore Princess. But getting back into the Fiendsmith side of things, we do have Fiendsmith Lacrima.
I think Andre may have successfully stymied Alex here with that well-timed Bestial.
Yeah. Okay.
Wow, there it is. Yeah. That Bestial Magnemite really turned off Alex's entire turn, and he knows that if he just passes back to Andre, all of these dragons are going to start attacking him. We have the Kaiman already known in hand. That's going to be more than enough to go into the combos that Andre can win. Really heads-up play from Alex, realizing, yep, he got me.
Draw phase.
It is indeed Andre.
Okay, so Maltha going second meant that Alex was going second.
And I believe I just saw a Harpy's Feather Duster in Alex's hand. Maybe afraid of the potential inclusion of a Kaiho from the side deck. And again, starting just like he did last time pretty much with that Kaiman, going to be adding any level 4 Fire Dragon monster to his hand. Because it is not his battle phase.
Taking a look there at the Genroku, but actually going for the Dora Dora this time.
You can just get Genroku off a Dora Dora effect, right?
I think that's going to be the game plan again. Let's see if he's able to protect it. No Sangen Summoning Field Spell this time.
Yes.
Any other effect?
Yes. Once per turn during the main phase, I can escalate the top card of my deck, and if it's a Fire Dragon, send it to the graveyard, and this game's 1,000.
Just clarifying everything this Dora Dora can do. It can do quite a lot, actually. It's a really nice sort of enabler and extender for the Tenpai Dragon archetype.
Ooh, but there's the Infinite Impermanence, different than the last time. No field spell to protect it.
But I do see a Pot of Prosperity in Andre's hand, which I believe would trigger the effect of Genroku, right? Because it adds it to hand by effect.
That is correct, yeah. So we got to reach as deep into the deck as we can, and considering that he is putting Genroku, not something that every Tenpai duelist chooses, he probably does have additional cards to try to reach for it whenever he needs it. And that seems to be here, as we're banishing 6 cards from the extra deck.
And I'm sure some people out there are wondering, why is a deck like Tenpai Dragon playing Pot of Prosperity? Don't they want to go second and deal as much damage as possible? Yeah, they can sometimes deal enough damage even through Prosperity to still defeat their opponents.
Yeah, Prosperity does half the damage, but I don't know that they ever conceived that there would be 16,000 or more points of battle damage in a single turn.
I've seen combos go all the way up to 30,000 points of damage thanks to the old card like Trident Dragion, which just has so much synergy with this archetype.
Need to do like a Tenpai battle damage contest sometime just to see who can uninterrupted showcase the highest battle damage the deck can deal.
And a card there that we saw revealed by Andre was Dimensional Shifter, but because that Kaiman is now in the graveyard, that card is essentially doing nothing.
I took the Nibiru there, kind of showing, hey, I really want to make sure that I get through the turn, so I'm going to give myself a little insurance. Speaking of insurance here, we are going to go ahead and make Hieratic Seals.
So I see a Nibiru, a Hydra, and was that a Ghost Bell? Or no, that has to be a Bestial, I think, in Andre's hand.
But certainly plenty of points of interaction there. Again, yep, there's the Nibiru.
Sure. Yeah.
Couldn't quite see the rest of it. Andre playing it close to the chest, but definitely has points of interaction. So Alex has his work cut out. Again, he is down 1 game as Andre took the first one. So let's see what his first play is.
Bonfire, not a bad start. Pretty much unlocks his entire deck.
And uncontested there, playing into a known Nibiru, right? Has to very carefully sequence these plays where that dreaded rock will crash down on the 5th summoning, tributing everything from the field.
Unlike other decks, Fiendsmith Snake doesn't necessarily need to have like a counter already in play, like an Appo or something, to kind of play through a Nibiru, because all the cards have so many resources once they even hit the graveyard. But depending on how Alex wants to approach this, he might try to set up some kind of Apollosa or some way to sort of, despite the Nibiru being activated, just continue playing through. But doing that and playing through his seals might be a little difficult.
Well, so far so good. Again, hitting that Hoplar is our second summon. And we've got the Divine Temple of the Snake Eye.
That might be a big Diabellstar Snake Eye going into the Spell and Trap card zone.
Feels like a good way to push the envelope and not necessarily lose too many resources, right? It always hurts to have your cards sent back by the Heavenly Spheres, but same time, it's not nearly as bad if you're just using pieces that really could just be played again later. It's not as strong against monsters that can just be summoned again and again.
Andre here thinking if he wants to respond to the activation of Temple.
I'll let it resolve.
Oh, we're just going to let it resolve here.
I think he was specifically thinking that if you could bounce it with seals, would that do anything? I believe it wouldn't, because it could still be activated again.
That is correct there, but looks like we're going to go ahead and grab our Snake Eyes Diabellstar. We've seen Snake Eyes Diabellstar do a lot for this deck, showcasing that it's not all just Flamberge Dragon all the time. This card has been such a great piece of combo potential for them. To just have different ways to pivot, put cards on the board, and of course, hey, when you need it in all the weird situations we've seen, 2,800 is just good.
Yeah, the way I don't think about it is Flamberge lets you get your monsters back in the monster zone, but Diabellstar lets you always keep the good cards in your Spell and Trap card zone.
Certainly important since we do have that. Oh, and wow, getting rid of the Harpy's Feather Duster there.
Yep.
Definitely. Alex was planning to go second the entire time. That's how you can tell. Main deck Harpy Feather Duster, side decking in Harpy's Feather Duster. And there we see Diabellstar, the Black Witch, hopefully searching for original Sinful Spoils because Temple's already in play. If we can find it?
It's in there somewhere. There it is.
He was like, do I grab Wanted then? If I can't find it, did I side deck it by mistake? No, sometimes cards just get stuck together.
Just have to check that deck again.
All right, I believe we're at a total of 3 summons.
Yep, it would be the Snake Eye Ash, Snake Eye Poplar, and the Diabellstar, the Black Witch. So 3 so far. Now the question is, do you stop at the 4th summon? Just like you said, Fiendsmith can really keep on pushing through, so I can't imagine stopping here. And also equally important is the fact that the Divine Temple of the Snake Eye really makes it where Demiro is not that big of a deal. Obviously, every time something is special summoned, you get to special summon something from your spell and trap zone. Only once per turn, of course, but that's enough to keep pushing forward.
And then Moon of the Closed Heaven has to be made with effect monsters, correct?
That's correct,
Okay.
that's correct. We have seen some duelists use things like Link Spider in their extra deck in order to turn a token, a normal monster, into an effect monster, but the extra deck being as cramped as it is, it's difficult. Speaking of cramped extra deck, here's one reason why. IP Masquerade, great card. That's 1 out of your 15 slots down already.
Okay, and here we see the attempt to activate Poplar's effect. To spell and trap zone a monster card, we're going to go ahead and choose Poplar themselves. And this is summon number 4, so if we don't get some way to interact with Nibiru after this, it could be a little dangerous for Alex. All right, here we see a Link play, potentially Promethean Princess, or, ooh, we see Celine coming down.
Interesting.
Summoning 4 counters.
1, 2, 3. It's actually like a lot. It's
Okay,
1,
so-
2, 3,
oh,
5,
okay.
6, 7. Premier as well.
That might be the most counters I think we've seen on Celine this whole weekend.
And this essentially will force the Nibiru from Andre, because if it doesn't, it threatens an Appaloosa just by summoning back one of the spellcaster monsters.
The summon is fine.
Then effect.
Thinking about those spellcasters.
And Celine does not target, correct? You have to spend the spell counters, and then you just summon a spellcaster from your graveyard, because I believe Andre has a Bestial in hand. That's what he's
Oh, interesting
determining.
to consider there.
Because I believe we only have Diabolus or the Dark Witch.
Now, if that's the Druid's Worm, I think it is. Let's
Okay,
see.
summon spellcaster.
It does not target.
The Druid's Worm getting rid of the Diabellstar the Black Witch is important because it means that even when Nibiru the Primal Being is stripping all those face-up monsters, all of a sudden you had a Bestial sent to the grave, and some of those have some powerful effects on the way out.
Right.
Druid's Worm among them.
Druid's from being able to just, I believe, send a card from the field to the graveyard when it is sent to the graveyard?
That is correct. So it would mean that you might even be able to send away one of those monsters advancing from your Divine Temple of the Snake Eye.
And here we see the effect of the Diabellstar in the spell and trap card zone to bring it up to the monster zone by replacing it with Snake Eye's Ash from the graveyard.
And that is the 5th summon.
And did we spend the counters on Celine or no? It still
No,
has
not
6.
yet. Oh, no, actually, we did because we targeted the Diabellstar the Black Witch.
Right? Exactly.
So. But either or, now is the chance to use that Nibiru the Primal Being. Looks like we did not choose to do that, so we're going to perform a Link summon there, a 3 and an additional monster. And this might be where it's too late. It's Appaloosa Bow the Goddess.
I think given that Andre had his seals and his Druid's Form both as interactions, he's not willing to sacrifice those by playing a Nibiru here because he feels like, depending on what other cards Alex has in hand, he could be all out of gas anyway.
Doesn't take much to get Tenpai started, but you do have to live to see another turn.
Yeah, I think Andre's putting a lot of faith in specifically the interactions of Druid's Worm and Seals here. So whatever monster we get here, it's going to be Oak. Oak will special summon.
Taking a quick look at the graveyard here. I'm going to use the effect of Snake Eye Oak to target the Snake Eye Ash. Place it on the field. A little apprehensive there. Every duel counts, and of course every move counts at this point. Looks like we're going to go and send Poplar with the effect of Snake Eye Ash to bring out probably Flambird Dragon, I would imagine at this point. You've gotten through all of your different named Snake Eye cards.
And you definitely want to conserve your Oak ability too.
Anything here?
Nope.
So now we're going to use Flamberge's effect, I believe, to spell and trap zone IP Masquerena.
Flame Bridge. Target.
Oh,
Ooh.
actually going for the Druid's Worm to prevent it from sending something to the graveyard on its way out.
Very heads up play. Druid's Worm specifically needs to be sent from field to graveyard to activate its effect. But being spell and trap card zoned doesn't matter. That's a really fun form. Usually we see the Snake Eye effects that do this kind of gain advantage for the player that it currently is, but they also are just forms of disruption themselves.
What?
Wedge, yeah, I'm assuming.
Oh.
Andre just accepting that. So we are not going to use the Nibiru. I did catch a Tenpai Dragon Hydra in the hand, so a great starter. Andre lives to see another turn. We're going to see plenty of Tenpai Dragons be summoned, but there's still so much work to be done.
And now that Alex has full access to all these monsters from the Snake Eye package, he has a lot to go from here.
Yeah, Flame Bridge effect.
Okay, is that your only trigger effect?
Sure.
Okay, sure.
We're in the closed heaven out there, but we're going to go ahead and For the effect there, the Snake Eyes Flambird Dragon, bringing Oak and Ash for an encore performance.
Oak still has not used its effect to summon from the deck or graveyard, and here we see the Nibiru coming down. Effective Appaloosa going down to 800 attack points. We're going to chain Seals here, and we're going to chain Called by the Grave. Alex had in his hand the whole time. That is going to completely negate the bounce effect of Seals, and Andre is just going to scoop it up from there because he knows the writing.
In this standby phase, I'll drop shifter.
Ooh,
there's the shifter.
Phase shifter.
Dimension Shifter going to banish any card that would have gone to the graveyard instead. So this is going to be difficult for Fiendsmith to get it. Little smiles there like, oh, okay. Okay. It seems like an infinite permanence in the hand as well as a Bestial Drua's Worm, I believe.
And a Chandra plus a Kaiman, which is more than enough going second to get enough damage, even through Shifter, I believe.
Enough to stop your opponent and enough to start your own turn.
Yep, and now Alex is going, great. All my cards that I wish were in the graveyard are now going to get banished instead. Andre's just reminding him, yeah, that gets banished too. Not just monsters, all cards.
Now, Alex would not be the first duelist to play through Dimension Shifter, but it is difficult for not only the Dimension Shifter there, but the infinite permanence. So thinking to himself, okay, I got Dimension Shifter, that hurts, but maybe I'll just go grab a Poplar and we'll have some fun combos. But unfortunately, it is just one set and pass.
Oh, correct.
Let's go ahead and make sure we cut the deck here.
Yeah.
Oh, everything's good.
Just make sure everything is fully resolved before we continue on to the next turn. Alex was like, don't worry, I'm going back in. And Andre was like, I actually don't think you are. Did we just draw Sandgan Summoning? No, that's Pot of Prosperity.
Yeah, but we do have the Sunken Kaiman.
Yeah, it's in draw phase.
So we're going to go ahead and in draw phase add, and smartly doing that the same way that our Sinful Spoil Seekers are acting the wanted spell card in the draw phase. Alex taking a brief moment to look at the crowd, pointing at Dimension Shifter and just shaking his head as he smiles to himself. Yeah, I kind of needed that graveyard for this deck.
That guy? That's my public enemy #1 right there. Alex is like, if only that card wasn't there.
Well, it's a great card that you always have to be mindful of.
Andre starting the same way he's been starting. Kaiman, add Dora Dora.
Definitely a Dora enthusiast.
And now this might be getting the Genroku or the... Yep, going to be getting that one. To allow him to automatically summon because it's added to hand by an effect, then he'll use his effect to, I believe, modulate its level and become a tuner.
It's going to be a level 4 tuner this time.
Summon this special from hand and it's level 4.
A little synchro summoning, or we could. I don't imagine you would decide to do Heavenly Sphere's Pass when you have exactly the situation that you want here. Your opponent really doesn't have a lot of options. They only have one card face down. Unless it's a threatening roar, a lot is about to happen.
Effect of Chandra to attempt to summon it from the hand. And now we can enter the battle phase and potentially summon Air Hydra from the deck.
Here we go. It's battle phase time.
Wow.
Oh, and he had the handshake.